All right, guys, good morning. So, not a lot has happened over the weekend in terms of showings. I mean, not showings, in terms of new listings. I mean, we do have quite a few, and I can make a video about that. But I did tell you guys I was going to focus more on actual live previews. So, bear with me on that. I have to schedule stuff. It's a little bit, it's not complicated, but it's a little bit more than what people think. So, what I want to do now is show people a different aspect of real estate, meaning that people always ask when a property goes under contract, on pending, on contingent, or whatever. People always like to ask me, well, how much did he go under contract for? And that is information that we cannot, first of all, another realtor cannot share with me if it's their listing. And if it's my listing, I can't share with anybody else because it tells people what the seller's willing to take for the property, which puts them at a disadvantage, and it's just not cool. By the way, I'm sorry. It's 7:08 a.m. It's a Monday. I'm still trying to get going here. So what I'll do is I am going to go through closed listings, right? Meaning closed transactions, meaning that now that they close and the deal has been completely fulfilled, we can see what the property actually closed for based on its asking price. I want to show people, and by the way, I haven't looked at these yet. So I want to show people what properties closed at. Oh my God. Closed at. All right, whatever. So we'll start with the first one. And actually, the property itself doesn't matter too much unless I see something crazy. You can see right here, list price. This house was listed at $210,000. Very nice house. Somewhat of a fixer-upper-ish, but not really. I mean, it looks nice. So this house was listed at $210,000. It sold for $250,000. It closed for $250,000. Went on the contract in 5 days. This is important information, and this is stuff that we see daily, and these are the reasons why we tell you sometimes that you need to come in strong, regardless of the kind of market that you think it is, because this ask price means nothing, right? This is just a number that the seller and the listing agent agreed upon to start the sale. So sometimes it goes for over like this. Then you had this one. It was listed at $275,000. It closed for $280,000. So this one closed for $5,000 over asking, and it sold in 3 days, right? 547.9 was the list price, and it closed for $580,000 in 6 days. 199.9, and it closed for $200,000. This one's closed, but look at this, days on market, 258. Now it could have been that the financing took a long time. That's also possible. 499, and this one closed for 485. But look at this, days on market. This one sat a little bit longer. So you can see that the more aggressively you price, the faster you sell it. And typically, as you can see so far, under 10 days on market has been going for over asking. So this is kind of what we show people. 260, I'm just going to round up, sold for 360, I'm sorry. It sold for 370 in 33 days. 379.9, closed for 375 in 6 days. Very close to asking. 160, closed for 177 in 13 days. 389, closed for 400 in 7 days. 625, this one closed for 590. This one took 77 days. It is a condo. It's a little bit different than a single family house in terms of like demand and all that for condos, but still pretty decent. 247.5, this one sold for asking price. 430, this one sold for 5,000 under asking in 3 days. 900,000, this one sold for $1 million. This one sold for almost $100,000 more. That's almost 10% more than asking price in 9 days. And this is what the power, and it probably was worth $1 million, right? But this is what the power of pricing aggressively does. When you price aggressively, let's say this house was actually worth $950,000. When you price aggressively like that, it attracts a ton of people. When it attracts a ton of people, you are likely to get very motivated buyers that want to jump on it quickly because they know that it's going to get multiple offers. They know that it's going to have a lot of attention. So what happens? They come in extremely strong in order to avoid all that and make sure they get the property. So remember, the list price does not actually mean that's what you have to sell it for. At the end of the day, as a seller, you decide what you want to accept. Just don't be an asshole about it. And this one, 415 was listed for, closed for 410. So as you can see, this tells us a picture, right? Yes, the market might be a little bit different than last year, than 2 years ago, but the demand is still there. And this is important information to not only understand, and this is kind of like what I show my buyers when we first begin, because, or at least I tell them about this, because we need to have that expectation there from the beginning so that when you find the property that makes sense, it doesn't catch you off guard when you may potentially have to go over asking price, because that's kind of what we're seeing still. And it is because there's different aspects that come into play. By the way, these properties were on the contract probably like 30 to 60 days ago. So this is still when the interest rates were at what they were back then, right? A little bit higher than what they are right now. So now I'm already starting to see headlines and other loan officers coming out with record high pre-approvals for the year so far, right? So this confidence from buyers is starting to come back. And this is something that is extremely important for buyers to be aware of if you want to be able to close on a property and if you want to be able to stay motivated and just relevant in the market. So ask me questions, talk to me. Let's figure this out together. I see these numbers daily, so I'm very aware of what is happening because I feel like this is part of our job. You know, this is what's important for this is what we need to show people, right? Not just open doors. So yeah, 6 minutes. God damn it. Bye.